I just on that note, do you have any? Are there any adaptations of novels that you've read and seen come to film that you particularly loathe in terms of how poorly they adapted the source material? Is there anyone that comes to your mind, Lloyd?
Oh, to mine. Drat. Unfortunately, the thing which leapt to mind was the opposite, which was a rare instance of a film which I thought was actually better than the book. Well, yes, when if you're going to make a change to something that a lot of people love, like when I watched The Fellowship of the Ring, there are a couple of little changes in it which are just no. Why do you do that? Why did they make Frodo come up with the solution of how to get into Moria? Anyone who's read the book knows it's Gandalf, and I thought that was such a dramatic mistake as well, because the next big thing that happens in the Fellowship of the Ring is they lose Gandalf. So the scene where everyone's just sitting around doing nothing, waiting for the wizard to work it out, showed you how utterly dependent they were on Gandalf. So
it's actually a very good point. Very good point. I hadn't. That one's never been framed to me in that way, but now that you pointed out, yeah, you're absolutely right.
So if you think, oh, don't worry, he was a doddery old idiot anyway, the Hobbit will think of it. We don't need him. Oh, he's fallen down a big hole in the ground. Never mind. No, don't make this change. And plus, I remember that scene from the book, and I loved that scene from the book. So don't change it unless you're going to make it one hell of a lot better. Is my feeling with these beloved books. I suppose you sort of have a bit of luxury here, Shad, because begging your pardon here, you haven't perhaps had sales that rival Tolkien. So your work is a bit more plastic in the minds of the general public.
That is true, and it's working with these guys as well, who have been they've let me be the biggest pain in the neck and just say, I really don't like that. Could you change it? And they've bent over backwards basically to accommodate, which is really impressed me, and so that's made me really encouraged for where the short film is going.
But anyway, we brought on the director, and then we haven't been talking to him.
That's all right. I love hearing you talk, guys.
Well, yes, but all the ladies and gentlemen want to know about your fears and ambitions for this piece as a director.
Yeah, what's your thoughts on certain things, but also the scene that Lloyd is going to be a part of, and just any questions that you might have? It's your opportunity, sir.
Well, as of right now, for that scene, no. Like, if we talk about fears and ambitions, the thing I fear most is screwing up the fight scene. Because this is something that is so well described in the book and something that you've been acclaimed for by fans. The fight scenes, and it is something that is important to me since day one, that we need to nail that scene. I'm pretty confident we can do it since we have a really good team behind us. But this is my fear, screwing that part up. Apart from that, well, I really want to show people the universe. So if I can do that, then have people dream about it afterwards and feel like it is a real place and not just a made-up place that we show them on screen. I think that's my ambition. I just want to make them dream. That's all I want.
And do you have some... Oh.
No, you go, Lloyd. Go.
Well, do you have some general policies about the way you think things ought to be directed? Because you might see films and go, when I go to anything, a play, a film, or whatever, unfortunately, I almost never can stop myself thinking, no, I wouldn't have done it like that. I'd have done it this way. The actor, I'd have said the line this way. And I suppose that's partly a sign if I'm not enjoying something. If I'm absolutely in it, I'm not thinking that. But a lot of the time, if I think, I'd have done it differently. And do you have this, I wish they wouldn't do that in films feeling about stuff?
Yes, I do all the time. And my girlfriend hates it because I break the magic to her. But I try not to do that in front of her. But yeah, I do. And usually it's more on a... how can I say that? The way they show, like usually as a director, yes, you direct the actors and you direct the actors mainly. This is your job. You want them to be as good as possible for the movie. But you have a lot of other things that you can think about to tell the story, which is the camera angle, the shot you want to take. Why do you want to take that shot? Why is that character dressed like this? Or why is that poster on the wall behind that character at that moment when he says it? It's all the type of things that sometimes you do see in movies, and when you do, it's really amazing because you can have an insight on really what's coming in the future in the movie before everything happens. Like just today, I was watching Saw 5, which I never thought I would see something like this. But there's a point where you see the policeman trapped in front of Jigsaw, and he starts talking to him and trying to lure him inside that that thing he does, if we can say that. And there's one shot, just one. He actually dragged a mirror in front of him, and you see that little puppet over the shoulder of the policeman. And from that point on, when he chooses he won't bring Jigsaw to the police, Jigsaw is actually training him after that. So it's like him watching over that guy. And I just thought, holy crap, I never thought I would see that in that movie. Like, this is one thing I really like. And then my girlfriend just said, oh, can you stop that, blah, blah, blah. But it's important to me that we can show as much as possible of the story with everything we have, and not just, well, the acting and So everything is important to me. So when I see something that is not, well, that they could have done and they don't do it, it actually pisses me off.
So where do you stand on the on the spectrum of one end, cut every half a second, shake the camera around like crazy and hold it very close and move it all over the place while people are fighting, or lock the camera off, sit in a big wide angle and just let the people perform in front of the camera and just make it one grand long shot, which is the opposite extreme?
Okay. I hate chaos cinema, which is the first one you described. I just hate it. It is something that when you cut off the sound, nothing makes sense. Like, you can look at it and nothing makes sense. In the other hand, though, when you place a camera in one place and you have really a well-built storyboard of the fight scene, it all comes together perfectly, and it is like way more enjoyable to watch, and you can really tell a story with that. With the other one, you cannot tell a story. Like, in some occasion, it will fit. But even up to this day, I didn't find a movie where I was just like, oh, nice use of it. Like, I just really hate it, like, very much. So I prefer like having a very detailed shot list of that fight scene, knowing where we're going and making everything works from point A to point B, than having a camera very up close and giving everyone the feeling that they're going to puke.
Okay. Well, and it's great that you have this creative control. Fred Astaire used to have this problem as well. He was like sort of the Jackie Chan of dancing, and that he wanted the director to just stay wide. You know, I've spent many days rehearsing this dance. I dance from my head to my toe. I know how to move. Let me just show the camera what I can do. You know, I this is what I do on a stage. Let me do it in front of a camera. I think it's similar with really good fighters. If they're really good,
oh yes, I agree.
Show them being really good. Stay wide.
Exactly.
Oops, sorry, I shouldn't say that. Sorry, I shouldn't say that to a director.
And when you go close up, it's just way more meaningful. Like, it's just not like, oh, you're close and you're not wasting it. Like, it gives more adrenaline to the fight scene, and it actually brings more emotion to the people watching it than having a close up all the way from the beginning to the end with shaky camera.
And we're gonna have awesome sets to show as well, and you don't want to go super close up where you never see the set.
No,
and
exactly.
I almost am ashamed at admitting I've watched these films; they were so bad. But if you guys want like the best example of the worst type of camera work for a fight scene, on account for the fact that the actors can't fight at all, and they're trying to hide that with these, they close up on the thing, and they do a thing close up there, and they're never doing a wide shot showing the dude. It's Charlie's Angels, and it was painful. And this is a guy that loves Jackie Chan, fight scenes and stuff, and he does everything like further out shot where you can see everything, and it's amazing because it's really him doing it. And that was the standard I had and enjoyed, and then going to this garbage, it was just